Yeah, so they're essentially all one. They're not like, yes, we're breaking them down into separate entities, but they're actually all happening simultaneously
Yeah.
at once. And they all go into each other because your energy and your state, those are the fuel. Those are the gas, right? That is what is dictating the quality of the result and then dictating the how you are perceiving reality, right? The story that you're telling yourself. And then all of that dictates the quality of your focus and the quality of your energy, right? And the quality of your focus, right, dictates how fast something comes about, how like if you're consistent, all of that. And then the quality of your energy dictates the quality of that focus, right? So are you able to stay in the pocket? Are you able to stay on target? Are you able to stay in the flow state for an extended period of time? If you have good gas, then you can. But if you don't, you're not going to be able to, right? And so it's understanding that these all are symbiotic of each other. So that's why you have the word safe, because it brings it all together. And if you're maintaining these, then you are going to be safe, right? You're staying away from being in danger of falling off course or not getting the outcomes that you're looking for. And the whole point of all of this, the reason why we're putting so much energy or focus or awareness
Or
toward
time.
time towards this is because we want it to be abundantly clear about what dictates the results that we get and why our life is the way that it is. And it is indeed this. This is what controls it. And then it also, that paired with, do you have the mindset of everything that happens to me is my fault? Right? And we've already gone into great detail of what we mean by that, right? It's controlling the controllables. And choosing to focus on what could I have done? What could I have done differently? And not getting wrapped up on the things that you don't have control over. And then the other is, do you have high standards?
Yeah.
If you don't have high standards, then you're not going to grow rapidly. You're going to grow most likely at a snail's pace.
You're just gonna grow slow.
You're gonna grow really slow. So if that's what you're trying to do, then no harm, no foul. But just don't be surprised when the people who do have high standards are growing at a rapid pace move on, right? And then also oftentimes you find that the snail pace people also sometimes will move on from the rapid pace people, right? So and that all has to do with the energy that they're in or the frequency that we're on. If you have similar vibes, you're going to attract other people of those vibes as well. And then because you're probably not going to have reggae show up on your rock station or
Right.
now we have crossbreeding of stuff these days where you have um you know um rap country songs and all of that, but for the most part you're going to only have things of that station of that frequency on that station, right? The majority of it's going to be that, and then you always have your exceptions to your rules, right? But your rules are that's going to be the case. So I'm just trying to bring awareness towards why things are the way they are, because to me, that takes away the sting of things. It makes
Mm.
it removes it from being this elusive thing, and it like where we act as if we don't know why stuff's happening.
Tie that back into consistency,
Yeah,
because that was something that in your younger days was seemed to be elusive.
it wa
And is this what brought it all to where you could kind of put a finger on it and say, hey, if I want consistency, these are the things I need to focus on?
yes, and then what I also learned is that there is no mathematical equation that guarantees anything either. I learned that it's all about increasing my percentages.
Yeah.
It's all about increasing my odds. And I just learned how to do that, right? And that also works with gambling. Like that's why some people are good at it because they understand that aspect. And then if you can take that and apply it to life, it also works. And so learning how to execute this is going to increase your odds or your chances of being consistent on a regular basis. And then your discipline towards this is going to affect the consistency, right? How important is this to you?
Yeah.
Is it a must? Is it a must or is it a should? As Tony Robbins likes to say, are you shoulding all over yourself?
Yeah.
Because if you are, then it's never going to be a must and it's never going to be something that you make important because we actually make time for the things that are actually important to us.
Yeah.
So if it actually is important to you, then make time. And the whole point of this, to wrap this up, is I can't stand when I do it and then hearing other people do it when we're making excuses of and we're saying all of this stuff outside of ourselves,
Yeah.
right? It's we're not going we don't get it and we're not going to get to where we're going if we're consistently practicing. Well, it was this, it was we can acknowledge these things, sure, not saying don't do that. Acknowledge them, but the bulk of the conversation should be on what did I do? What could I have been done differently? And then maybe I wasn't getting to bed on time and I wasn't getting enough sleep. And then I was eating bull crap and I wasn't drinking enough water and I was focusing on negative stuff and I was allowing these things to get me down and make me see things in a negative light. Okay,
That's also okay.
now we see how energy awareness, state, and focus dictated the results that we got.
Yes.
And so now we're putting awareness to those things and we're saying, I did not address the things that move the needle. So I need to go fix that. All right, let's break them down. Time I'm going to bed. Didn't practice my morning routine, right? And
Oh,
all of those, and what you'll also find, another trap that I fall in is that you'll find that you get really good to where you can still perform better than most people without doing those things. But then you have to ask yourself, standards, how much are you leaving on the table? How much better could you have performed if you would have done them?
mm,
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
yeah.
And
That's a big
so
one.
and so that's where it all circles back to the standards piece, even when you're further along in the journey. And then that's where you got to take accountability. You need to take ownership, give yourself grace, and then get back to the root cause problem solving method and put energy towards solving the problem. And then it just, like we said last episode, it just keeps becoming another one of those, another one of those, another one of those. And then through the process, the triggers, the sting, the intensity, it all gets a little bit easier, a little bit easier, a little bit easier.
Not as much friction.
And you're able to sit in the pocket longer, more consistently. But it's a journey, it's a process, and you sure as heck ain't gonna get there overnight. And if you like instant results or things that happen quickly, it's probably you're gonna struggle.
Yeah. You're just going to you're gonna ha you the when you overcome that,
Mhm.
you'll start to feel a lot better. It's
Yeah.
going to frustrate you, and you're going to feel stuck until you get over the fact that I have 2 things I wanna leave the audience with to wrap up as well. So, we mentioned the acronym for your state, your awareness, your focus, your energy is going to be safe. That's gonna be a safe approach that you could take. Um, I had a little fun while you were wrapping up on your side there. If you the alternative or some antonyms for those words, is gonna be if you don't choose safe, you're gonna be sore, which is scattered, overwhelmed, reactive, and exhausted. So those are all opposites of those words. And then one more thing that I want to leave the audience with, if this sounds like a lot, um, it was we broke it up so that we could just munch it into small bites, and so that we actually knew we were actually not just throwing an acronym out there and expecting people to go apply it, because you need to know the who, what, when, where, and why for to be equipped properly. But another thing is, this is not heroic. The definition for heroic is showing great courage, selflessness, determination, especially in the face of danger, hardship, or adversity. So I'll stop there. This is the another word I picked is stoic, which is enduring pain, hardship, or difficulty without displaying feelings or complaint, showing calm indifference to things like pleasure, pain, or emotional turmoil. So this journey is less heroic, more stoic. You're going to let yourself down. You're going to disappoint yourself, and that's okay. The whole idea is you go within, you take inventory, you write down why, and keep the focus within because that's where the juice is, that's where the control's at, and then you can change your tomorrow.
Stay curious.
Yeah, stay curious, and it's a good idea to always like look in the mirror. Sure, someone else might have played a role in it, but you get to play the main character in your story and you get to choose how you're going to respond. And so that's what we encourage you to do. That's what this episode was for, is to equip you with the who, what, when, where, and why. How do I actually do that? And then again, from someone who's been focused on it, you're going to let yourself down. You're going to disappoint yourself. You're going to disappoint others. You're going to make commitments that you're not going to come through on. And all of that is okay as long as we acknowledge what was in our control that led us to that situation. Once we start to give the controller outside of ourselves, that's exactly what you're doing. And you're going to need them to give it back, or you're going to need to take it back before you're going to make a difference.
Yep.
So that's where the juice is of today. I really enjoyed this. Thank you, Carter. That was awesome. And I really enjoyed that.